Well, hello there everybody on YouTube. This is Caleb and Kyle Rock again. Today we're going to be focusing on a 4th gen iPod, specifically a 20 gigabyte 4th gen with the color screen. Currently this iPod is kind of dead. I'll show you guys in just a minute. But before we get started, I'd like to preface this video. This iPod is going to be refurbished and given to my father for Father's Day. So shout out to my own dad, John. Greatest dad on the planet. I love you very much. And I figured I'd make you something special for your Father's Day this year. So back to the video here. It is a 20 gigabyte iPod. We are going to plug it in and I'll show you the symptoms that it has right now. So we'll plug in the charger in the bottom. Should show the Apple logo. And here we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we have the sad iPod symbol. And when this symbol shows up, it usually means that the hard drive inside of here is dead. I can also confirm that that's probably the case because I don't feel any vibration. When I hold this thing, normally it would vibrate with that spinning disc inside of there. Right now I don't feel any of that, so it is definitely dead. So in order to make this living again, I have some parts. So right here, because we're going to be opening up this device, I figured we might as well put a brand new battery in here, because also when I unplug this thing, it dies pretty quickly. I mean, it'll show the Apple logo, might boot a couple times, and eventually just dies again. So once we're in there, might as well put a fresh brand new battery in there. And then the main thing we're going to be doing is converting that old hard drive over to an SD card, which is actually a solid state type drive. So these are not prone to shaking or vibration. They're a newer technology. Obviously SD cards have been around for quite a while, but we're going to be converting that old hard drive over to a solid state type solution. So what this adapter is, this is an IDE or ATA adapter, which is the connector the iPod inherently uses for the original hard drive. It converts this over to a CF card, which is normally found in like Canon professional cameras, things like that. And then instead of getting just a normal CF card, I have opted for a CF to SD card adapter. In this case, this is the iFlash adapter. One of the most recommended adapters when you're modding iPods. They seem to work pretty darn well. So theoretically, this should just slot in here, and then we'll put the SD card. In this case, we have a micro SD card over to the SD card adapter. So we'll do that right now. I might need some scissors. Whoa, I do have some scissors here. Let's go ahead and cut this guy. Again, this is a 256 gigabyte SD card, which is a much higher capacity than the original 20 gigabytes. So Dad, you're going to be able to have a bunch of songs, a bunch of videos if you want, photos, bunch of space. I don't think you'll ever go through that 256. Let's see if we can get this package open. Alright, there we go. Alright. SD card kind of fell out of there. So here's that micro SD card one more time. We're going to take this little tiny... Can you believe 256 gigs fits in the size of your fingerprint here? Technology has come a long way, and this is a small capacity SD card by 2025 standards. Anyway, we'll take this, put this in the adapter. So now we just converted the micro SD card into a full SD card. And now we're going to take our SD card, put it into the CF adapter, just like so. Make sure it's good and snug in there. So now we've converted the micro SD card to SD card to CF card, and then CF card over to ATA or IDE. So now this is ready to go into the iPod. The next step we need to do is actually disassemble this device. I've done a couple of disassemblies in the past. I'm not an expert, but I do know that there are some clips on the side and we kind of have to force those out. So I have this little iFixit, I would call this a spudger. This is really meant for this task. So theoretically, we should be able to kind of get in between the polycarbonate and the actual steel frame or aluminum frame. And I might have to do this off camera, but I'll try to get it on record. Also without trying to slice my hand open. Let's see, I also have some other tools, whoever they might be. I've got a couple of little guitar picks that might help me too. No, that's a little too thick. And then I should have another metal spudger somewhere over yonder. Oh, we got this one right here. Still too thick. So I think our best bet is going to be this tool right here. Still really hard. I'm going to scratch the hell out of this metal. Maybe if I start up top. There we go. Got my thing in there just a little bit. Got to be careful with the cables up top too. We don't want to break the hold switch or the headphone jack. But I'm going to try to get in here, kind of go around it if I can, while keeping force on it. If I can get to the side here, we should be golden. Hurt my fingernail as we do this. Ouch, okay. So no dice so far. So again, I can get it in the top as it wants to come on. Whoa, this is the first life I've seen. Holy shit. Maybe it's not fully dead. Whoa, there we go. Well, this is the first life I've seen from this thing. Are you kidding me? Man, I sure don't hear that hard drive spinning. I don't think it's going to play. Nope, it skipped it. Nope, it's still dead. It knows the song list, but it's unable to play it. You can just see it's skipping from 182, it'll be 183. Yeah, so it's not playing it. It's unable to get the actual track, but it must have the song list in its cache, which is different than the hard drive. But that's still cool. I can see what songs are supposedly on here. But again, it is still broken. Let's quickly go through these here, in case anyone watching really cares what this iPod used to have. There's a bunch on here. Margaritaville, My Humps, My Humps. Yeah, I know a bunch of these songs, I really do. Yeah, it's too bad we can't take the songs off. It's really not recognized by the computer in its current state. And it just froze, look at that. Could be because of the battery or the fact that it's like, hey, I can't access this stuff, the hard drive's dead. No, it's still clicking. So, again, the hard drive is dead. Like, that's a major sign for this. So let's continue going. We're going to put that hold switch on so we don't keep touching it. Theoretically, I can turn it off by doing this. Well, with the hold switch off. Okay, it might come back, yeah, whatever. Alright, this video is getting kind of long. It's already 9 minutes and I haven't even got the device open. So I might actually just pause the video here once I have it open and we'll go from here, okay? Hang tight. Okay, so we're on to something. I did get it on the side here, and theoretically there are, I think, 3 clips on each side. So once I'm able to pry those open, we're going to kind of open it up like a book and continue on. Alright, we are back again. I was able to, I guess, get all those clips on the side here using both my guitar pick and this device. Just a lot of prying and a lot of kind of force required. So we still got the other side. We're kind of just going to move it like so. Now we got to be careful when we open this up. So then we'll kind of set it down like so. We're going to tilt it just like this. Let's see, these are a little different than the newer ones. What do we have to work with? We have, looks like a little ribbon cable up top for headphone and the hold switch, along with obviously the battery connector. So before I rip that cable off, let's see if we can disconnect that. I think I just pry up on that just slightly. There we go. Kind of off camera, but force required is just push down and you kind of pry up and it should come off. And that's the only connector we had to worry about. That's really cool. Now this back panel just comes off like so. And then here's that hard drive we're talking about. We're going to be replacing this with this. So with that, we're going to kind of lift it up. And here is that IDE connection. We're going to kind of flip this upwards and then kind of pull without bending all these pins. Man, that's scary. We're almost there. Okay, good. Got it disconnected. So you see all those different pins here. Should be very close to identical to this. So a little different, but it's going to be close enough. Alright, cool. I'm not sure the orientation on this, if it goes this way or this way. I would assume this way. But I don't really need to do that yet, because we're going to replace the battery anyway. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Now here is that original battery. Should be very close to this replacement. Looks like that's going to be a perfect fit. Unfortunately, the stupid battery connector is underneath the motherboard, so I'm going to have to disassemble the motherboard to ideally lift the battery out. So I'll probably pause the video and figure out what I'm going to do with that as well. Also, my laundry is done, so I'm going to go put it in the dryer. Alright, we are back. My laundry is currently in the dryer, and we are ready to rock and roll. There is one other thing I did off camera. Looks like we actually had to, let me zoom in on this. Well, that's really big. So here is the IDE connector with all those pins that originally connected the hard drive. On the right hand side here, let me see if I can point to it. There was a little plastic little nub right here, and I guess you have to break that off in order for our adapter to fit. So I kind of just took these scissors, kind of wiggled it back and forth and broke it off. Here's the remnants of it. Just a little piece of plastic. So if you're going to be doing this mod, make sure to remove that little plastic thing. And then the actual orientation of our adapter, you have to make sure when you're looking at the adapter this way, this rightmost pin needs to go into the rightmost part of this ribbon cable. So it's going to go just like this. And we're going to have an extra, I don't know, 4 pins on the left-hand side here that aren't going to be used. That's perfectly normal. That's just the way it's going to work. So now that we got that understanding out of the way, let's move forward with the battery replacement. So according to my quick little research as well, we just need to remove these 2 T6 screws right here. So luckily I have the right adapter screwdriver bit. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. See if I can move this a little closer so you can watch me do this. So it's just this screw right here. Set that to the side. And then one more right here. Alright, got those out. And then we're going to be, I should have done this before I took the screws out, but we'll unplug the actual battery connection. There we go, just like so, that's out. We're going to take the power leads kind of lift up the board right here, bring it around, and then we should be free. And then it's just a matter of prying up this original battery, which I guess can be a pain in the rear. Might be glued down probably. Let me zoom out just a touch. Alright. So we'll kind of pry around this guy. Maybe get some upward force on the cable. Again, this is probably not the proper procedure, but I have no intentions of keeping this battery. I really don't care. As long as we maintain functionality of the iPod itself, I will be quite alright. And as long as we don't start a fire. So that's certainly glued on in there. If I had some little adhesive remover, I'd probably spray that in there. But I don't right now. Maybe if I take my same spudger and kind of pry up from the side. Trying to break that clip that I'm bending out of the way. That sure is in there good. Thank you, Apple, for gluing everything in. We surely appreciate it. Even though this is a device from 2005, that glue is still holding up pretty darn well. Holy shikeys. If I can just get a corner. I hear the glue breaking. Come on, baby. Oh, man. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this board. I don't like this. Holy cannoli. Abort, abort. I swear I'm going to break this board. I hope not. I got like half the glue cut. Ooh, come on. So close. Ooh, it's either a good or bad noise. See how glued that is? Holy crap. We got it though. Holy shit. Okay, perfect. Let's see if we can bend that plastic clip back. Should be good. Cool, so battery's out. Let's take our replacement. Kind of set it in like so. Looks like it's going to be a touch bigger than the original. Let's see if I can get a little bit of slack. And I don't think I need to re-glue this. This is going to be form pressed in there anyway. Man, that is a long extra cable compared to before. Kinda don't like how long that is. Am I putting that in the right way? No. Man, I don't like how long that is at all. Why is that so hard? Shouldn't be that hard. Okay, it does go in like that. Theoretically, we should have some sort of power. Something got really warm that I touched. Ooh, that's hot. I don't like how hot that is. Holy shit, did we break something? Come on, unplug. Unplug. Abort, abort, abort. Ow, that's hot. Holy crap. I hope we didn't break this board. Oh, jeez. Maybe it's got to be touching ground there. Man, that burned my finger. Holy shit. Still really hot. I don't know. Let's plug the original back in. Kind of outside. I didn't plug it in wrong. Ruh-roh raggy. See if it works when we plug it in. I mean, it might need the headphone jack and stuff plugged in. I am not sure. Scary. Well, Dad, you might not have a present after all. More troubleshooting required. I'll be back. Alright, we are back. All hope is not lost. Here is the replacement battery plugged in. We've got the charger plugged in. That board is no longer hot. I'll show you what I did here in just a second. Okay, still get that error because there's no hard drive. Let me unplug this guy. See if it has any charge. Perfect. So the new battery is sort of holding the charge. Probably needs fully charged up. But I'll show you what I actually did. Let's unplug this again. Okay. So, if we zoom in right here, do you see that little gold clip? Well, from me poking and prodding trying to get the battery out, I accidentally bent that piece of metal, which what I think that is a grounding tab. So the battery was not properly grounded, and therefore that little chip right there got extremely hot because the power didn't have anywhere to ground to. So I ended up taking those screws out again, taking my flathead little thing and bending it back down, make sure it was pressed up against the metal here, reattach the screws, plug the battery in, starting with the original one, went back to the replacement afterwards, and everything looks to be working perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and fully assemble this the way that we were expecting. So let's zoom out once more. We're gonna take out those two screws that I just put back in. Alright, still super blurry, sorry folks. Take this other screw out. Definitely novice issues here. I'm glad we were able to figure out what exactly was going on. Alright, we'll kind of lift that board up just a touch. Take our replacement battery once more. I still don't like how long this lead is. Trying to figure out what we could do to kind of shorten that up. I could always cut the wires and then resolder them, make it a little shorter. I don't think I'll do that in this video. Sorry, Dad, you're not worth it. No. Alright. Maybe if I don't even go around the corner, just kind of set it like that. That could work too. I'm just afraid it's going to get all bunched up in the corner. don't think I have enough room to go. I don't want to fuck with that grounding tab again. No, I think we're gonna... Oh, I'm getting caught on the tab. Come on. Okay. I think we're just gonna say going around is gonna be fine. I don't see any real issues of why that wouldn't work. So I guess we'll just plug it in like this. Is my tab touching? I would assume so, because it's not getting hot. But keep pressure on that. Let's put the screws in. No fire, no smoke. Happy to see it. Oh, come on. Okay, I think those are in just fine. Still not hot. Perfect. So I don't see any reason why I can't just take a piece of Kapton tape, put that down like so. I just had Kapton tape. There it should be. So this is Kapton tape. It's kind of non-conductive tape. We'll take just a slice of that. Should be fine. We'll do one more to go across. Definitely hard with a phone right in my face. We'll go. Alright, should be fine. Put it down like that. Battery doesn't appear to be going anywhere, so that's good. So now let's move forward with our little adapter. Again, theoretically, we're going to line this rightmost pin up with the rightmost section here. So I think that is aligned. Let's go ahead and press that guy in. Boom, nice click. Alright, I think we're good to go. A little tight on that one side. I wish it was more this way. But I think we should be okay if we kind of just align it like that. So theoretically it's ready to be restored. Probably need to plug it into power again. I just want to see some sort of life before we do anything else. Perfect. Then we'll see our sad iPod. I don't know why I'm waiting for this. I know it's not going to do anything. No reason to wait for this. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my 30-pin to USB adapter, and we're going to see if we can get this thing restored. Because currently it's plugged in with FireWire. Do 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 do. Alright, got that plugged into the computer. Let's plug this end into the iPod. See if my computer sees anything. iTunes. Alright, so here's the computer. Let's see if we can get this thing to restore. I don't care about the latest iTunes, no thanks. So we're going to kind of do the menu and select button at the same time. Oh, it's kind of pushing in because we don't have pressure. Alright, technical difficulties again. We will get this. Alright, I finally found out my critical mistake. The alignment, it was wrong. So it actually needs to go all the way this way with the pins, or the extra bit towards this way. So I basically took this out, shifted it this way, plugged it back in instead of it being this way. And that was our problem. The light lit up over here, and then if I go over to the computer, it says, hey, an iPod has been put in recovery mode. Do you want to restore it? So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to restore it. Yes. So here's the software. Good. I agree. So here's the iPod itself. We're getting a little blinky light, which is good. There we go. Do not disconnect. Wow, it's working. I think it's going to restore. Okay, again, blinky light. iPod should show up here in just a second. Shows the Apple logo. Got a gnat on the screen. Cool. Go away. This has been restored. Perfect. It says to plug into wall outlet power, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and unplug it from the computer. Maybe. Let's plug into wall power, which I have another cable for. Da 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 da. Here we go. This should work. First boot, let's see if it works. There we go. Well, Dad, this might be your first boot. There it is, English. Oh, we got the click wheel locked. That's why oh well, this is good. This is great. It officially means that it's been restored. We just need to put it back together and you're gonna have a functional iPod. Alright, here's the final reassembly of this iPod. Again, we just got it restored. The software portion is fully done. We have the SD card fully put in here, new battery. All we got to do is put this back plate on, reconnect this connector up here, and fully reassemble it here. So let's see if we can't do this first take. Just got to get that aligned somewhat so. Again, really difficult when I'm on camera here. Okay. You know what? Everybody on YouTube is going to scream if I don't disconnect the battery, so we're going to do that. Alright, battery's disconnected, everybody. Everything's fine in the world. Okay, I heard the audible click. Let's reconnect our battery. Ta-da. Let's do one final check. Let's plug it in one more time. Okay, cool. And we don't have a functional click wheel. Perfect. Just what I like to see. Yay! Another thing broken. Probably broke it myself. Shoot. Alright, I'm going to bed. We'll come back at this another day. I did a little more harm than good. The little button that controls the buttons on the click wheel, I don't know what you want to call that, but the little fake button thing fell off. So I'm trying to like move it back in the right spot and reassemble. So yeah, stupid. Alright, I think I got it aligned and it actually clicks now, so we'll reassemble it even further. Alright, got the motherboard back in. In case anyone was wondering, the screws are going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, there's one under the tape, 4, and one up here, 5. So there's 5 screws that hold this whole motherboard in. And then take this little ZIF connector, flip the black piece over, slide the ribbon cable out, and the entire motherboard does come out. In order to do my repair, I had to pry up on this metal piece, which holds the click wheel in place, reattach that little button piece in the right spot. So we should be good to go. We'll just have to reconnect our IDE board, battery, and we'll try it again. Alright, back to square one here. Found out my issue again. I swear I know computers, I swear I know hardware. This little connection, please focus, came disconnected from the click wheel. So we need to push that back in, put it all back together, and we should be good as grass. Can't believe I did that. Okay, let's try to get that realigned. I'm glad I didn't snap the cable as of yet. That is encouraging. A little difficult. Ooh, I felt the click. No pun intended. Click wheel, click. Alright. Lay everything back in there. Alright, before I fully reassemble this, I'm going to put 2 of the screws in the bottom to make sure our grounding strip is good to go. 1 and a 2. Now we're gonna make this right. We're gonna fully do it. And then we got the screw up here. Tape's in my way. Okay, fold that back over, and then just the 2 over here. Got 1 right here, and 1 over yonder. Right here. So that's a full disassembly. We fully took that apart. So that was our culprit, I think. So again, just to reiterate, the alignment, what did I say? It's supposed to go all the way this way. So we're going to take these pins to the very top, Make sure we get them in perfectly. Give it a little click. I think that's the right way. And then our battery that I forgot. We'll fold it just like this. Boom, boom. And then let's kind of tuck these wires over my Kapton tape again. We'll plug it in. Click. Get the wires like this. Should be fine. Let's give it a little power. Got our blinking red light, that's good. That's not good. What happened? Huh? Shouldn't need to restore it again. Oh hell, how did I do that? I swear I'm getting tired. It's like 1 o'clock. I'm such an idiot. Alright, come on. I totally missed all those pins. Goodness me. Okay, we got both rows of pins. Push it in. Everything looks right in the world. Plug our power in. Give it some juice. Got a blinking light. Okay, perfect. Of course, I can't test it because it's locked. Alright, let's fully do it. Everything is fine. Disconnect our battery again. Okay, disconnected. Got our back panel. Let's plug this little connector in. Ooh, that was first try? Ish. Aw. There we go. Battery. Like that. Let's give it some power again. I swear this is the final time. Here we go. Okay. Let's see if it works. Moment of truth. Thank goodness. Woohoo. English. There it is. Alright, we fully got a working iPod with no music on it, but the buttons appear to work. Backlight. Perfect. Yeah, this is working just fine. And on battery too. There we go. Alright, ready for the moment of truth. Is there anything else we gotta do? Probably should put some foam down. I don't have anything like that. Well, Dad, this is the completing of your iPod. I wonder if it rattles that bad. We'll see. I can always disassemble it again. Ooh, click, click. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There it is. Oh, it does rattle a little bit. Not a lot. If you can hear that. Yeah, it does rattle. Need a little piece of foam. But anyway, it's a fully functional iPod. And you can shake it. There's no hard drive in here. Should be better battery life with a fresh battery. SD card. Does it actually show 256? It does, 232. That's exactly what we were expecting. So it shows the full capacity. There we are. Well, Dad, I love you very much. Hope you enjoy your iPod. I got to figure out some music to throw on here. And maybe get a polish if I want to. But yeah, here we are, YouTube. We just refurbished an old iPod, had a broken hard drive, and a questionable battery. New battery, new SD card. Here we are. Golden Age 2025, still working. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.